Hello everybody, my name is Kim and today I'm going to be talking about the 3 reasons why you should be working with a virtual camera rig. Thank you for joining me for this little bit of a discussion. It's something new, something different for the channel, so I'm hoping that people will get something out of this. What I'm going to talk about today is something that I find very interesting. It's a topic that doesn't get that much discussion because there's only such a small group of people that actually work on it and think of it as a big thing. And I'm going to talk through 3 dedicated reasons as to why I think you need to be using a virtual camera rig. First off, let's talk about what is a virtual camera rig. Now, working in 3D spaces, you normally get what is a free cam, or generally talk to free cam. This is just like holding a real camera in your hands and walking around taking video, which a lot of people do very successfully, but it's got a very distinct feel to it. And this is something that a lot more people are getting more and more used to as we watch more and more YouTube clips and production values are done with cams and just mobile cams. But there is something to be said about when you go, you know what? We've got a really good Ronin system that works, you know, people with a big heavy camera that's hooked up and it gives you that chase cam. Or when you go, you know what, these are big arms that are tied on the back of cars or run on wheels. And that's, or the third one is when you look at follow cams on cars. These sort of things are then things which give weight and give motion to movement, and it's then constructed physics around what is actually happening. Now that leads me into the first thing, complex camera moves. So taken from the real world where we'd go from normal Hollywood movies, they have big arms and tripods and everything that kind of hold your camera in place and give it distinct movements and restrictions. In 3D world, you can grab your free cam and you can do anything with it. And it really takes away the feel of what a real cam feels like. And when your audience is watching it, they get that sense that you've just been able to throw a camera anywhere. Whereas with a real film or a real motion or with a camera rig, you can then distinctly restrain yourself to go, okay, well, what would a real camera do? How would a real camera work? And that's my first thing with having a camera rig put over top a camera, is to replicate then what a real camera constraints would be within the real world to make you think and feel about how the camera would move. Now, the next reason which I kind of like having a virtual camera to work with and controls on top of a camera is for refining and editing. So what does it mean by refining and editing? Well, when you've got controls in a certain order, it means that your graph editor is cleaner. It doesn't just have 3 different angles, you know, your X, Y, and Z for rotation or translation, all mixed up in different angles or doing different things. With controls, even though your camera can be facing a different direction, you can have just a control that goes just in one angle on a Z axis, which makes refining it, like refining the pace or refining the feel of it, or doing some editing afterwards when you've only got the one curve to work on, a lot cleaner and a lot easier for you to be able to iterate your changes. If you want examples of this, I'll be doing another video real soon that actually digs into this topic. So wait for it and check it out. And the third reason that I think a virtual camera is actually really useful is for a clean workflow within a pipeline. Now, having worked in quite a few different studios, every studio has their own take on what a clean workflow is. For me, I like having a rig on a camera because then you can constrain, or the production pipeline can constrain a render cam to the camera you've got, and it can read you can either bake it out so you've just got the camera with no rig, or you can constrain a clean cam and bake out a clean cam compared to the camera with all the controls on it doing all the different things. It's a clean workflow. Now, most pipelines can work with either of them. But then when it comes back to getting down to towards the end of production again, when you're going into final camera polish, if you don't have those controls, it does then make it hard to then refine your workflow again. So it's nice to be able to have those extra controls at the end of the pipeline again, rather than losing them and having them completely baked down onto all those X, Y, and Z, rotation and translation. If you can still keep controls on there and say the animator has made his animations bigger than what was originally blocked out, and you just need to pull the camera a little bit wider, having that control rig which you can just go, okay, I just need to pull back a little bit on Z and just a little bit on, say, Y on a single control, rather than going, oh, this is really kind of having to offset 3 different angles on a single control. It does make it easier. So I know this topic's probably going to be open to discussion. Let me know in the comments below if you actually use a camera rig. I'll be doing further videos on my camera rig and my favorite workflow, so stick around and check them out. And if not, thank you so much for joining me and getting all the way to the end. Leave me a like, and until I see you next time, bye bye.